hold to it and shoot for the sky.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Ring Post Daily Podcast. We are your host. He is Joey Hudson, walking into WrestleMania Supercard with a 1 point advantage, and he'll give us a
What does
little more
Roman always
about that.
do?
Oh, the one up. He has the 1 point
The
advantage.
one.
Yes. Also TSW interviewer. You can catch him on any TSW, just, whether a wrestler's cussing him out or someone in the Brotherhood just making fun of him for no reason, or he's interviewing Mike Murphy, any of that. Eddie Wade is not medically cleared to be here today. And yes, for a podcast, you have to be medically cleared. So, he's stepped away for
On this
this
one, you
episode.
do.
Yep.
He's
Austin Cochran.
emotionally not cleared.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's emotionally not cleared.
Austin will show up when Austin shows up, and he will shake everything up once he does. And I am your new 6-time RPD prophecy champion of the world. Yeah, exactly. Booker T.
Yeah,
Scott.
congratulations. Now, in the last super card where you won, especially on that last night, oh my God, that title was, swapping, like everybody was getting championship sloppy seconds here because it was swapping so many hands. There were so many ties, and then now he claims it. Like, it started out at the beginning of the super card. Eddie Wade walking in on his 100-something day, 100+. I don't know, how long was that reign? How long was his reign?
I think it was I believe it was like 92 days. If it's not that, then it's just over 100. I think it's just over 100.
I think.
Yeah, it's 100 something.
Yeah, and Eddie's 100+ day reign comes to an end. Tyreek, congrats on being the new champ. They call you Mr. RPD. What's it feel finally to? I mean, what's it feel like to take the title from Eddie Wade? He's been running around here and in TSW with not, I wouldn't say our title. It's your title right now. But with RPD's title, with our brand's title, he's been walking around with the likes of the Brotherhood, Austin Michaels, and this artist formerly known as Golden Boy, the perfect creation, Landon Gray. I mean, you finally got that out of the Brotherhood locker room and out of their arms. What's that? That's gotta feel. That's always gotta feel good.
It feels good.
Tyreek pulled one over on the Brotherhood. Think of that.
Eddie Wade can't, walk down with his Brotherhood shirt and his mask with my title, just playing it around, using it to cheat in matches, all that stuff. Like, no more of that. No time we bring honor back to the Ring Post Daily Prophecy Champion. And I will be defending that at our WrestleMania Supercard that we do every single year. And Joey has something for that card, doesn't he?
Yeah. See, I remember about 2 weeks ago, I made an offer. I said, if you used your thing for me, one-on-one match, win, lose, or draw, we could keep Eddie out of the WrestleMania Supercard. And I would not use the 1 point. We could have been going into Mania 0-0 one-on-one, buddy. But you walked away from the deal. And now I have to be a man of my word. And I have to use that 1 point. I don't want to use it on you. You're my buddy. I feel like, in a way, we both took down the Brotherhood that night. But WrestleMania Supercard comes around.
Yeah, Eddie Wade's problem is relying on that championship advantage, and your problem is relying on a 1 point advantage, man. Me, I study the shows, I keep up with storylines, and try to get every single match right. And It doesn't always work in my favor. I won't act like it does, but for the most part, I do my best. I try to predict and get as
Yeah,
many
I'd
points as
say
I
for the
can.
most part, you do pretty dang well. I mean, you're a 6-time champ. That don't just happen because you got lucky.
Yeah, but that is ahead of us coming up. What's crazy is I think this super card is super card 40 for this WrestleMania. Or 40th super card.
42.
42?
Yeah,
Okay, well
because
either way
this last one was 41.
oh, okay. Well, then it still matches because it's WrestleMania 42 as well, so that's pretty cool as well. But
And
today,
how many
hmm,
days? And how many days are we away from WrestleMania? You think
mm,
it has to
was
be
it
like 40
mid-March?
days plus March, April? No, so about
No,
3 weeks. 3 weeks and
yeah,
Saturday.
we're about 3 weeks away. Yeah, man, and it's been
So
heating up. It's
go
been heating up.
so going in 3 weeks going into the show, and I have the 1 point, and I have 1 point on the board already. I mean, look at that. I'm already winning.
I mean, it's I'm kind of nervous about like these matches because a lot of
I'm
these
just gonna come
matches,
down.
it's like it's tough to call. Like, at this point anyway, like, I keep like going back and forth with who I think is going to win, like the main events, the women's matches, Oba and Brock. It's like, it's going to be a tough card to call, and whoever gets it right is definitely going to earn it because these matches are not easy.
To
But,
me, honestly, I can see I see kind of clear this year. I can see kind of what direction they're going in with the matches, except for like maybe one. And right now, I'm not like the one match it is like AJ and Becky,
mhm,
because from what I read, it said that Becky is supposed to be a career versus title match. So I would imagine
mm,
AJ's title, Becky's career. And Becky already said she wouldn't be wrestling forever anyway. She at some point, she wants to do other things and be an at-home mom. So at one point, you'd only see Seth on the road and Becky at home, kind of like Ms. Maurice does.
mhm,
Um, but if that was to happen, and this is her last Mania, and WWE knows, like, hey, look, you're going to retire next in 2026 sometime, early 2027. Why don't we just do it at WrestleMania? And a big time match. Her and AJ title career. Can't ask for nothing better. And a couple years from now, 3-4 years from now, she's a Hall of Famer. But but yeah, that's the one match I have a little up and down on. Everything else, I'm just like, I totally see this happening. Like, I could be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right, but it looks, I can look at the whole card and just be like, I think I see where they're going with it. So hopefully that works in my favor, along with the 1 point advantage. 3 weeks away from the event. Wow. Now,
yep,
moving on. What this is what we call the past versus present. It's not really like a game. It's more like a discussion. And like last time, I think we did John Moxley, Triple H, Roman Reigns, AJ Styles, and John Cena. Well,
yep,
now we have a whole different 5-man batch here, 5-person batch here. And this is past versus present. It's based on the aura that they had in the past and,
mhm,
the one they have now in the present. Accomplishments, what they did in the past and what they're doing in the present. And when we say past, I always use like Randy Orton for an example. Anything he's done, like from, I'd say, like if you want to count Randy Orton's past, I'd say we're in 2026. I'd say
mhm,
anything past 2020 is his past. Anything behind 2020 is his past. Anything forward past 2020 to now, I feel like is his current. I like to go by like 5 or 10s.
yeah,
So yeah, I like to use that as an example. But this ain't just and like I said, this ain't a game. It's just a debate, and and I also like to tally up how many we agree on, how many differences there were. Past versus present. Yeah, like I said, aura, accomplishments, and basically the third and final one is just your overall opinion, view, and pick.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could have 2 out of 3 outweigh it, whatever. But yeah, uh, past versus present, and you want to get started on it.
Oh yeah. Let's start off with the
All
first
right,
name.
I'll let you go first. The first one is Paul Heyman with
Okay.
Brock Lesnar or Roman Reigns. Lesnar being the
Wow.
well, I know he's with Lesnar now, but Lesnar in the past, Roman before he turned on Roman being the more current one. So that's what I'm saying. You know,
Wow.
and I can't wait to
That's a
hear your
tough.
opinion on this,
So start
Mr.
yeah, start
RPD.
off with aura. Wow. This is actually really tough. Um
This is a nice little thing, ain't it? I like this idea.
yeah. I think aura I I liked the dynamic between Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman for aura. Just because, I, of course, you can argue the tribal chief wouldn't be the tribal chief without Paul Heyman, but just the whole part of it was funny. Part of it was, serious at times where he was the wise man. He was looking up to his tribal chief, and he was just trying to stay on the island of relevancy. And as much as I like the aura between Paul and Brock, it's like back then Paul would he would just he'd be the mouthpiece, and Brock would be Brock, the muscle and everything else, and and that's kind of how it went for years. But as good as that was, I just think on aura, I'm gonna go with Roman and Paul's aura when they were together.
Okay. Okay. So
Now,
Roman and Paul. So you got Roman for Paul. Okay. Uh, and that was based on his what on your what? That was on aura.
well, I'm kind of going down the
Aura.
list. Like I'm going, yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of
Okay.
going down the
Yeah.
list. Yeah, that was
I
for
thought you
aura, but
were. Okay. So that was for
accom-
aura. Okay.
accomplishments. Damn, that's tough. That's tough. I think I have to
That really
I
is a
have to
hard one.
go.
That really
That
is.
is, it's like when you're looking at both. I think I have to go with Brock and Heyman though. It's very close. As long as that title reign was and how legendary it was, that them together beat the Undertaker streak. And it's kind of a toss up on which one's uh, a bigger accomplishment. But I just think that even though they dominated all of WWE and took the titles and the Bloodline had its aura, I'm gonna go with accomplishments. What they did, because uh, Brock always kind of held a world championship as well, like during their time. Like well, at least after he ended the streak. It's like he had a few title reigns that lasted quite a bit. But I just think, yeah, the fact that they beat the streak, to me, that's one thing that can't be touched. Now, okay, overall,
Don't you think, real quick,
mm,
whoever, whether it was Brock or anyone, I think there should have been like whoever beat the streak should have got like some type of championship. You come out the
you
next
mean
night
like
on
a
Raw
title?
and you're presented a championship, and it's a and I'm talking about like a big deal, like when you'll never see it again, but this one of one achievement, defeating the streak, beating it, ending it. Come out the next night on Raw, get presented this title for all that. I think like yeah, this is a one of one title. He can't defend it, but it's a one of one title for the person who defeated the streak. Brock gets it. I could see Brock marching down the ring with that title for the rest of his career if he wanted to.
Hmm.
But yeah, that'd be awesome. But I was just gonna ask you, do you think that would have been cool?
Yeah, I
Winner of
think
the
so.
streak,
Because, it
Brock or
would
no
always
Brock gets a
be,
title for beating it.
yeah, it would constantly be a reminder of what Brock did. And not only that, there'd be, it'd almost be like a WrestleMania title if you think about it. It's like, people would try to beat him. And, Paul Heyman has said that recently as of late about, how some people haven't been able to get revenge on Brock or, he's been, he hasn't been undefeated at Mania since then, but, he's had him, he's been dominant. Not everybody can beat him. But, overall, I think I got to go Brock and Heyman. Like, after just,
Wow.
yeah, the Beast just being the Beast and Paul being his guy and his mouthpiece, there was nothing like it, and it lasted for years. And that's a day one thing where, as soon as Brock came in the business, he was with Paul, and you could choose from multiple eras with Paul and Brock. But uh, I always just loved, like, I just felt like even like Paul's promos seem maybe slightly better when he talk about the Beast than Roman Reigns. I mean, it's of course he'd
Oh,
give it's tough, yeah, but he'd give his give off Roman's accomplishments, but Brock just being Brock, I think brought something out of Heyman to where he could say whatever the fuck he wants because it's Brock Lesnar who's standing right next to him. So I'm gonna go with Brock and Heyman as the better version of
and not
Heyman.
only do you go with Brock and Heyman, but that was a 1, 2, 3 strikeout. All three Brock, Brock, Brock for you. So
Well, no, I think I did.
all
Aura
right.
was Roman and Paul,
How about?
but
Oh,
it's 2-1.
I thought you said Brock Lesnar with aura, achievements, and opinion.
Now it was Roman and Paul for Aura, and then Brock for accomplishments, and
Okay. So
yeah, and
so
then
which
overall.
one wins? So which one
Brock.
wins? Okay,
Brock
Brock.
wins.
Okay. Okay, Brock wins for you. Obviously, short, quick, and simple to the point. Uh, Roman Reigns.
The tribal chief.
Uh, it's hard. It's so hard. But here's the thing. Uh, I do dock some points because a major point adder here would have been if when Brock first won the UFC title, if he could have used the WWE theme song. Just saying. But he didn't. That's fine. What I would have liked to seen is Paul Heyman by his side during his UFC career as well.
That would have been
Even
great.
when Brock's even when Brock's doing SummerSlam this week, but did a UFC fight last week. Why wasn't Heyman there? Like I wanted like if Heyman would and if Heyman could have said I led Brock to WWE gold, I led him to UFC gold. If Heyman could have said that, that would have been, game over.
Yeah, it would have added
Two
another notch.
different worlds, two different sports, two different environments, two different everythings. But that ain't what happened. The streak was the most, I think, shock. Okay, the streak was like the most shocking moment. Like I swear, everything froze. I remember where it was, but John Cena's was like the one that that was my worst one. That was my worst one. That one got me the most. But the Taker streak one from Brock and stuff, Heyman can say I led up Brock Lesnar. I was part of that. I helped him lead. I led Brock Lesnar to him at Mania, and I was part of that defeating the streak. Heyman can say that, so that's a huge plus on Brock. But what Roman in that reign did, 1,316 days, we'll never probably see that again in our lifetime. I told my nephew on the phone when that all went down and he lost it. I was like, bro, you don't understand. I was and no, he didn't lose the title yet. He kept defending it. It wasn't. I don't even think it was. I don't know how close it was him losing, but I was like, you don't understand, bro. You're not going to see this again in your lifetime because before Roman was like Hogan in the 80s and Bruno San Martino's in the 80s or 70s. So this was a rare occurrence. this is the first time I'm seeing it, and I'm 32. I'm telling him, like, bro, you will probably never see this in WWE again, like what you're seeing now. This is a once in a lifetime storyline.
Mhm.
And Heyman led him to that amazing streak. That was my favorite time in wrestling. It really was. And I'd say Aura. I'd say so. I got three of them. Aura. I would say Roman Reigns, 100%. Achievements. Like I said, since he didn't get it in the UFC and manage him there and say I led him to 2 different world titles, blah blah blah. Since he didn't do that, I docked points. I have to say Roman Reigns for the 1,316-day reign, and then overall opinion, I do love him with Brock Lesnar. I do. I mean, he's the perfect mouthpiece, perfect teammates. I don't know. I don't understand their relationship. Hey, I'm gonna hurt you, attack you, go with this guy, and then here in 6 months or so, we're gonna go back together. I don't get it, but it's that. But as great as Brock and Heyman is together, I go overall 1, 2, 3 Roman Reigns.
All right. Who's the next name?
One sec.
That was a good choice too, because I wasn't really expecting Paul Heyman.
I can't wait for Eddie or Austin to be able to get on this because this is
Yeah.
like I like this. This is a really good idea, and I'm not just saying that because I came out with it. That has nothing to do with it. I think you and me have had. I think I've had fun actually with you in the last one and this one so far, and I can't wait to see how everyone else's opinions enter the conversation and stuff. So I think it's just a good idea overall, no matter who came out with it. But moving on, I'll go first on this one, and we just said his name earlier. Uh, Randy Orton, face or heel, good guy or bad guy?
Mm,
To me, short and sweet. I like him as a bad guy. I do. I like him as a good guy. I think right now he's at the age. I think he's right now he's at the age of where it's like, he's a legend,
mhm.
bona fide Hall of Famer, probably two-time Hall of Famer if you add Evolution at one point in time. So a future two-time Hall of Famer, obviously. Like, come on. But as good as Randy Orton is as a good guy, my favorite, I would say, Randy Orton Aura. Randy Orton Aura, I would say 2009 Viper. Like Randy Orton just what was that? He was man. What matches? Like there were matches like at bragging rights, and he fought Cena for like the whole year,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
quit matches and
He was he
Iron Man
main
matches. Which
evented he main evented Mania with Triple H, and that was a
what year
huge
did you
feud.
start watching wrestling?
Probably that year, like 2000, 2009 or so. Yeah.
Because they had a match, a 1 hour long, no DQ Iron Man match at
Hmm.
a pay per view called Bragging Rights, Raw versus SmackDown. But the main event was that match, and if Cena lost, he went to SmackDown. He had to leave Raw forever, but he won the title, obviously. But
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever remember that match or not. I don't know if you do, because
I
that is
do.
one of the
I
best
do.
matches ever. It's one of my favorites.
That was one of the matches where, I'd growing up as a kid, that's when uh YouTube was, developing still and getting better. That's one of the matches I'd always go back and watch when I was a kid, and my mother would let me on a computer because back then just kids didn't have smartphones like they do now.
Well, I go with Aura to the the heel. Um, what was the other one?
Accomplishments and then
Achievements.
overall. Yeah, yeah.
Achievements obviously is the pass as well because he ain't he I think he's been more heel than he's ever than more time longer than I think he's been heel more cumulative time than he has been a face. He's
I
been
think
more of a
so. Yeah.
heel his majority of his career. And without his dirty tricks, without his Viper ways and everything and his heelness, does he win 14 world titles? Does
I
he
don't think
become a
so.
2-time Rumble champion, a Money in the Bank winner? This or that? Does that ever happen? Overall for me, bang bang bang, it's heel for Orton. I like Orton better as a heel. Right now, what we're seeing Orton on SmackDown doing, dude, I can't wait for WrestleMania. Last
Mhm.
year he was out there, wrestling Joe Henry in an improv match and hugging him afterwards and whatever. But now, could he beat Cody Rhodes for the title he just won, or is that not going to happen? What?
Yeah. I got
So for
the
me, Randy Orton heel.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that as far as, heel Randy goes. Like obviously for Aura, I always just liked him better as a heel. And I just thought it fit so well and this ties into, accomplishments. It's like he he always seemed to win championships when he was a heel. Like, for the most like I think yeah, of course he's been heel majority of his career, we believe, but he like I just remember
I'd say like at least like 85% of it, or at least 80, 79%, 80.
yeah, because
Like it's up there. It's high, but like not all of it.
back in the day when he won his first one, he of course was with Evolution and he was a heel then. I remember obviously he was winning championships in 2009 with uh what was going on there and his best heel work. But even like 2013 when he became remember when he went against Cena in that title unification match. Like he was the heel in that, and he got it done to where he won both titles and held it all the way up until the following WrestleMania. And even one of my favorite uh uh like of his heel runs when he was like COVID era when he was being a heel. That's when he won. Last time he won number 14, and he beat Drew, and he was chasing that title for a while. And him and Drew had a great feud, but in a Hell in a Cell match, he just like with his heelish ways found a way to win another championship. So heel Randy always just he does he finds a way to win championships, and he's just I think he's better on aura and what that ties into the accomplishments. And so overall, got to go with heel Randy, the Viper, the legend killer.
That's funny because I've been to a bunch of wrestling events actually, and I've seen Cena, and like the thing is, it's like okay, I know as a wrestling fan you can understand this. You've been to how many wrestling events? Can you at least give me a range, or do you know the exact number?
Oh,
Give
like
me a
since I was
ballpark,
a
maybe
kid, 20, 25,
20
something
plus.
around there. Yeah, 20 plus.
2020. Okay. So, out of all them
Yeah.
events, you had a good time. You know where you were and what happened. But if I said,
Hmm.
"Hey, do you remember this match?" You don't really remember it like this, right? Like you. So,
Yeah.
what I
Yeah.
would do is when there was a WWE network, or maybe even a Peacock, but I remember doing it on WWE network. I would look up the ticket date on my ticket stub because I collect every ticket stub to every event I've been to, even ones to comedy clubs where I met Jake the Snake Roberts and people like this. Well, the ticket stub, I'd look at the date, go into the WWE Network, go to Raw that year and that date, and I'd watch it.
Hmm.
Now you're not going to see me on TV or nothing, but that's the show I was at, and I can watch it and remember like, oh yeah, I remember after that show too. Stone Cold did a beer bash and rode a 4-wheeler and everything after the show went off the air. So I remember some of it, but not all of it. Like you remember some of it in an event, but not all of it, like that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, you ready for the next one?
Yeah. We
I
both
think you're
had
I think you're
Randy on
first
that,
on this
or
one.
heel Randy.
Yep. We have one difference, and that's on the Roman and Lesnar one. We have one agreed on so far, and that is the heel Orton. You are next. You are first on this one, and it could be obvious. It I don't know. Dominic Mysterio before or after Judgment Day. Before they came along or after they came along? The
Mm.
past being not a Judgment Day member, and the present being a Judgment Day member.
As much as I don't like Dummy Dom, I've said this before. I didn't like Dummy Dom even with his dad. I didn't like him, and when he was a baby face. And then when he turned heel on his dad, I was like, I don't like you even more now. But I prefer, this version of Dom, if I'm being honest, and I prefer him, I think Aura clears the water with, him in Judgment Day. Like, just, uh, obviously, there's just he was literally just like, uh, he, he wasn't like the word, he was still kind of green, but he was still finding his way. He was still finding out, what he was gonna be before Judgment Day, and him being in Judgment Day kind of allowed him to find what it is he was gonna be. Accomplishments, again, I mean, before Judgment Day, he probably had a tag title run with his dad, and they had a WrestleMania uh, match as well. But obviously, he's won the North American Championship. He's uh, El Campeon for AAA, and
Yeah, that's true too.
two-time Intercontinental Champion. He's beaten John Cena in his
For
last
the Intercontinental
PL,
title.
yeah, in his last PLE,
Yes,
and
sir, he did. My
trying to
hero.
think, yeah, I'm trying to think if he
Literally,
did he
my
have any other
hero.
titles? I don't think he had any other titles, but
The tag team, the Intercontinental like twice, the AAA like twice.
yeah,
Um, that might be it.
yeah. So off
I
the
know he
bat, so
fought Rey
with that,
Mysterio twice at Mania, WrestleMania, 1-on-1, and then
one was a tag
in a
team, I
tag
think.
match.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think with that,
We're here. I can't hear you, buddy. I can't hear you, buddy. I'm talking. Can you hear me? We'll just keep it roll. We will just keep it rolling. But can you take your head? Can you take?
yeah,
Is it?
I
You
can hear you
there?
now. I took out the
I'm sorry.
headphones. And,
I'm sorry. I was
can
trying to sign language the best I can. What I was saying is I can't hear you.
you,
I didn't know if you
okay,
got that.
you can hear me now though, right?
Oh, I can hear you now perfectly. I mean, I heard you perfectly the first time.
Yeah, I can hear you now too, because at first I couldn't. So uh, were you about to choose which Dom?
Well, did you already? Okay, so yeah, I think you were on achievements, and then did you do overall on Dummy Dum Dum?
Yeah, yeah. So mine was Aura was Judgment Day Dom. Accomplishments was Judgment Day Dom, and I think overall I'm going with Judgment Day Dom.
Okay, so
Yes, after
after they
Judgment.
came along. Okay. Quick and simple for me. Yeah, same thing. I love Dom how he is right now. Uh, I think even if he gets I think even if he gets a good push one day as a face, yeah, that'd be awesome. But right now, what he's doing, people boo him. Yeah, but that's what he's at. That's what he wants. That's the response he wants. He doesn't want you out there chanting for him every week. No, he don't care if you do. So everything he's done, and I think now it's fair to say that he's the leader of Judgment Day. At least him and Liv Morgan are. I think if maybe the main boss now is Liv Morgan, but I think Dominic Mysterio is like, since he's dating her or whatever, he's probably in her head and in other places, and he's getting that power too.
Yeah, for sure.
So for me, it's also after they came along. Plus, I'd like to see Dom defend, if he's gonna face Finn Balor at WrestleMania. I'd like to see it be for that AAA title.
That
I
would be
don't
interesting.
remember. I don't now. I can't quote it because I don't remember everything, like I said, but in all of WWE's how many years of being alive, I can't tell you if back in the 60s or 80s or 70s or 2000s, whatever, I can't tell you if the AAA title mega title has ever been defended in WWE at WrestleMania or not. In the 80s, whatever. I can't really tell you. But to my knowledge, this would be the first time of that. And
Yeah.
even if Dom does retain, okay, whatever. Have some Liv Morgan and everyone else come out and do the thing. We're getting Finn Balor as a face, so just give the end of the season, so to say, WrestleMania, to
Hmm.
Dominic and the Judgment Day as a heel team. Let him come back and rise through the next couple weeks or months. So, yeah. But yeah, Dominic so far with the Judgment Day, I think I think if Dominic leaves, it's done.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no way JD Madonna. Well, I guess it would be because there would only be JD Madonna. The girls ain't hanging out with him.
Right. His large head.
But Tamina, right now, Dominic's one of my number ones in the Judgment Day. He's one of my favorite people. But I will say shout out to Raquel Rodriguez. She is one of my all-time favorite Judgment Day members. She is putting in that work. She is like, I swear, when Raw's on and I see she's got a match, dude, she puts on, dude. But yeah,
Every
we
time.
both agree on that. So right now we have two agreements and two differences, or one difference and one difference and two agreed on. The next one, I'll go on, and it's pretty, and for me, it's pretty simple and quick. Probably will be for you too. I don't know. We'll see. Cody Rhodes, AEW or WWE? Now, I would say since he did help start AEW, that is a big plus. He started this company. He was part of the one of the pillars
Yeah.
for day oneers. First ever all out pay per view before was ever called AEW.
Hmm.
So, yeah. And one thing I hated about AEW, his aura, is he couldn't challenge for a world title, for the AEW world title ever again.
Yeah.
I have seen it 1,000 times in wrestling. Well, John Cena, if you don't bring back the authority, I'm going to crush Edge's already broken neck. You know, we've seen it
Mhm.
all over time and time again. But uh, when you lose a match, just like I think Hangman Page did it here recently too with MJF.
Yeah. Yeah.
But when you lose your right to that, how the hell am I supposed to believe it when you win that opportunity to get it back? Like, it wasn't real. Like, I expect you to, great. Now my favorite wrestler, Cody Rhodes in AEW, can never challenge for the world title. Well, I know every pay per view that I ever watched from now on, Cody's not walking out of the main event with the title. Now,
Mm-hmm.
what if in WWE they do that? What if CM Punk, you will never be able to challenge for another for another world title in WWE as long as you live. He wins the Royal Rumble. He wins the Money in the Bank. What now?
Yeah, yeah,
I'd like to see something like that happen. But AEW Aura, I guess starting the company was most where he gets the most points for that. WWE right now, what he's doing, he's been I think a 3-time champion right now, and he's the current champ. He's about to be I think in main event night 1. And if I'm correct, if the graphics look different, that's because night 1 I believe is supposed to be like Las Vegas after it was attacked, bombs and landfill and everything like that.
mm,
But then when you see night 2, like Roman and Punk, it's kind of like blue and icy looking. That's what that theme is going to be is futuristic, like Vegas in the future.
yeah,
So you're getting you're getting 2 different themes. So that's what I'm getting. But no, everything Cody's done in WWE has definitely made you forget about his not so illustrious AEW career.
for sure.
Um, I believe he signed one of those NDAs or whatever. I think I'm probably saying it wrong, but them
It's an NDA. Yeah,
non-disclosure agreement, yeah,
yeah.
because he can't ever talk about what happened with AEW and why he left.
Mm.
Crazy, but for me, it's overall it's WWE. Maybe AEW, and it's not just AEW. He was in TNA for like a couple months. He was in the Indies, everywhere. So, so AEW to me was just another place to go and wrestle, show how good you are, and not only that, but when they came out, oh my God, now they're competing with WWE. Cody Rhodes is on the other channel now, competing with WWE. Like now WWE's gonna see him. If they didn't see him before, they're gonna see him now.
For sure.
And I think AEW was one just another footstep to get back to WWE where the real money is. And even if you did make more in AEW than you did in WWE, it's like okay, but in WWE you can have a way better remembered legacy. WWE has a Hall of Fame to go into. Just saying, whether people just think it's real or not, but yeah, they have a Hall of Fame to go into. I don't think AEW does. Maybe Sting, but I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if they even have one. Um,
No.
um, and right now, yeah, but like just like every other company, AEW was a footstep to get to WWE again, and it just so happened to be the final one because now Cody's in a place where he can where he can be up there with the Cenas and the Ortons and everything. And I think he actually, if you look at it, he's one of the most favored stars of today.
Yes.
So I think overall, Cody and WWE for me. AEW, I don't even really remember much of that. What I do remember, one of the like craziest AEW moments I ever remember is when like MJF did that 10 lashes.
Oh yeah. And,
I saw that. Oh, I didn't see it live. I was like watching Facebook and it said last night on this, and it showed the whole clip. So I watched it because I was like, well, I didn't really watch it, but what is it? And I watched it and I was like, oh crap! Like what a scene! Like that's what AEW does on Dynamite, huh?
yeah, that's for sure what MJF was doing that back in the day. He'd say shit so out of pocket and piss off his opponent so much that they would do
They
anything to put
shit
him
pissed
over.
me off.
He'd be like, he'd barely wrestle and just be like, no, I'm willing to take 10 lashes to get you in the ring. But for me, aura wise, I think the whole We Want Cody thing, that era, says it all about Cody's or the difference in the aura back then. Because even near the end of his run, like he was just like Cody was a babyface, but just getting booed in AEW. Like the fans weren't like connecting with him that much anymore. And as much as he as part of creating that, I just think he's just so much bigger and better here in WWE, and that's not hard to see. And like when you look at the accomplishments, I think like the biggest accomplishment of Cody Rhodes in AEW is the fact that he is part of creating AEW, and but here this is gonna be, I believe, his fifth WrestleMania main event in like 4 or 5 years, like since has it been that long? I don't know, but he's been the guy. He's been, known as the quarterback, and he's obviously the championship wins and the people he's beaten. Like, bro's beaten Brock Lesnar twice. He's beaten Roman Reigns. He's beaten Seth Rollins multiple times. He's just beaten all the best that WWE has to offer, and he's literally just made now. Like with the accomplishments he's done already and still going for, like he's
I saw something that said that ever since Cody returned, that he's not lost too much since he's been back. Like, or if he has, like, not beaten fairly.
yeah, yeah. Literally,
So
it
there
is.
could
It's
be some tag team matches he's lost, but maybe he wasn't pinned. Who knows? But if you look at every match and saw who take the pin and stuff, it said like a majority of Cody Rhodes' career since coming back to WWE, he's been more on the fighting for world titles, main events,
that's
high
why we
stage John Cena type schedule stuff.
yeah, that's why we make the joke of Cody Hogan, man. Like he's legit, he's taking that spot. And, it's like I ain't mad at it. Like I've said that before on here. Like fans are kind of polarized with him right now. He still gets love from the crowd, but even some part of the fans are starting to turn on him. Me, I'm just like Cody Rhodes is Cody Rhodes, and he's doing great, and I've been enjoying all of his feuds, and so far I'm
Cody
not
Rhodes
tired
is
of
doing great, and I'm just happy for him. He says,
it.
"You sound like a generic commentator. They put you on headset for the first time. You don't know what to say. You're like, well, I don't know who this guy is, but he's coming to the ring with a title, and I'm just happy for him." That's what you sounded like.
Yeah, so Aura, Cody Rhodes, I mean WWE Cody Rhodes, accomplishments, WWE Cody Rhodes, overall the American Nightmare in WWE is where it's at.
So did it be for you?
Yeah, for sure. Like my favorite moment from Cody in AEW is
Yeah.
probably when him and Sammy Guevara did that off the ladder cutter. That was just so clean and on point, and the timing was just so on point, and I've just rarely seen something like that. That was probably my favorite moment of his, but it doesn't compare
Yeah.
to when you think about WrestleMania 40 and how that all went down, and and everything that built up to that, and just look at the guys he's just been in the ring with, and just who he's like faced since he's been back. I said Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Brock Lesnar, John Cena. He's now going in with a heel Randy Orton. He's just been in there with the best, and has held his own. So yeah, definitely Cody Rhodes.
Well, coming up on the YouTube on our YouTube channel, we will have a one of our Friday videos about 10 wrestlers who came to from AEW WWE. So there's definitely more. There's definitely a list there for that for sure. But so far we have agreed on 3 and disagreed on 1, and there's one more to go. And I'll go first on it. Wait, did I go first last time, or did you go first?
I think you.
Rose. Me?
Yeah, because I just got done with
Oh,
mine.
okay.
So
Then
yeah,
it's your turn. Then it's your turn.
last war. Here we go.
Okay. So the last one is Hulk Hogan, Real American, yellow and red,
Hmm.
or which you could say was his past, the '80s when it was really really popular. He
Yeah.
did come back with it again, but Hulk Hogan, red, white, and blue, red and yellow, or his future from there, the NWO, black and white. Hulk
Hollywood
Hogan,
Hogan.
American or NWO.
Oh, it's a little. I don't know why this is a little tougher than I thought. Thinking about the match. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna start one with Aura. Um, when it comes to Aura, I feel like the whole Real American thing, Real American Hulk Hogan, that just seems to fit him, and that's why he kind of, went back. Like obviously, before he passed, when he was coming back, uh, uh, as like a legend guest appearance, he was coming back as the Real American Hulk Hogan. Of course, he had what was it, WrestleMania 31 when the NWO came back and against DX. You remember that with Triple H and Sting?
Yeah.
Yeah, he came back, and Hollywood Hogan then. But I just think
Well, he always did come back for, well, I think they did it more when Scott Hall was alive, but they did like NWO appearances, maybe some on SmackDown or whatever, and he always was in the. Yeah, I don't know. It was like, yeah, he's wearing the black and white, but it was like, no, it's like just Hulk Hogan cosplaying as NWO Hogan now.
yeah. So I think Aura just because it fit him better, and plus, uh, when Hogan returned to WWE as Hollywood Hogan, I wasn't watching constantly at the time, but it just didn't. To me, it doesn't seem to hit the way that the Real American Hogan did back in his previous run. It's like, yeah, he had a huge match with The Rock, of course, and a few other feuds, but I just think that original American really fits him, and so I'm doing that for Aura accomplishments. Again, it's like he like I believe he main evented the first 8 WrestleManias or something like that. I can't remember how many.
Okay. I'm glad we are a podcast because I have my laptop right here.
Yeah,
I'm going to see if I'm correct on something. I believe if I'm correct, I think he is a 7-time WWE and a 3-time WCW. I could be wrong. I'm going to, well, if I can type it in.
yeah, I think he had 9 WrestleMania main events, I believe, because I remember when Roman beat him, I think he walked into his 10th. Roman walked into his 10th, so or he might have tied with him. Yeah, he might have tied with him when he went. But anyway,
Yeah, it's right here.
for
I got you right here. We're gonna check right here. I think, like I said, I think he's a 7-time WWE and a 3-time WCW. Now, I'm not. It doesn't really matter for the podcast, I guess. It's just I consider myself a real wrestling nerd, and it's bothering me right now that I don't know it if I'm correct or not. And if I'm correct, like high five to me for knowing this shit. But I'm going to Wikipedia, by the way. I know it's not going to be on the screen or nothing for anyone to see, but that's what I'm going to be on right now is Wikipedia on my laptop.
gotta get our
I got
research.
Hulk Hogan, his name, and then the accomplishments, championships. Okay, this he is a one-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion, but that's not okay. That counts, but let's not do that right now. That's like an apostrophe. So right now, I said 7 WWE and 3 WCW. Crap, I'm wrong. He held the WCW title 6 times. He held the
Wow.
WWE title 6 times.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't even know. I didn't know that. You know.
Did I?
Well,
How many times did I say that he held the WWE for? Not 6, I bet.
you said 7.
7. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I said 7. So yeah, I wasn't right. Wow. Well, I definitely need to go home and do my homework later.
Yeah. And even then, he has you know, he still has, I think, top 5. No, Roman didn't beat his record, right? Or did he?
What, as a world champion?
The longer reign. Yeah, like I think that was the one he was behind. Like the only
Oh
people to.
well, uh, not Hogan's. No, no, no. Hogan's was
Yeah.
like 1,400 or something like that. 1,500,
Yeah.
something like that. So, but I was hoping he would go and break Bruno San Martino's, where it was like 10,000 days.
Roman would have still been champ right now.
Dude, you know how long 10,000 days is?
I mean, sounds like yeah, year. Like you probably would have to hold it for like 7 years or something, 7, 8 years.
You know, hold on. What did I? Okay, what did I just ask you?
Uh, do I know how long 10,000 days would be, or how many years 10,000 days would be?
Okay, hold on. How long was Bruno San Martino's WWE title record? I just don't want to have to go through the bullshit. I know he held it for like a crazy 10,000. Um. Oh my God. Sorry, my phone's gonna read the entire thing, and I'm gonna shut her up right here, right now. Thank you. Goodbye. Now, his first reign was 2,803 days. His second reign was 1,237 days. So Roman Reigns was very close to beating his second reign, Bruno San Martino's, I think it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. But his real first one, his mega one, that's never going to be topped in the world, is 2,803 days. That's what I was hoping Reigns would do. Now, that was, FYI, that is from May 17th, 1963, all the way to January 18th, 1971. That's a long time.
That's about 8 years. So Roman would just have to like yeah go. He'd still be champ, and you know he'd
Yeah,
have like 2 or 3 more years to beat champ if he was gonna go for that one.
I was
So
hoping Roman would beat it.
yeah, so with all that combined with you know I mentioned Aura, Real American, Hulk, accomplishments, Real American. I think overall I'm going with the Real American Hulk Hogan.
The real
Man.
American one, the red and yellow, when the world comes crashing down, the world hurts inside. Dun, dun,
Yep.
dun, 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 dun. Yeah. Okay. So you're saying, okay, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. And by the way, even though I was wrong on some facts, and then I went to Google to get some facts, that's because these are stuff I either A, wanted to make sure I was correct on, which good thing I did, or I just didn't want to have to go through hassle, so I just figured it out right there and asked Google. But but yeah, you know, I'd rather be, caught here in 4K not knowing something, even though I claim to be a wrestling nerd encyclopedia, which I am. But
Mm.
and I'm not just an interviewer. I am a wrestling journalist. When I am at TSW shows, I am watching the matches on the screen. And
Yeah, I think I'm Landon Gray accidentally hit Eddie Way, or from what I've seen. Like
what?
I think I didn't see who they were jump. Looked like Landon Gray and Eddie were jumping somebody, and then whoever it was ducked, and Landon Gray accidentally hit Eddie Wade.
Oh, I think that might have been Mike Murphy.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Dude, did you see my interview with Eddie and him that I posted in the group and and everywhere?
Yeah, I've seen it.
That, you know, I'm just gonna say one of my best ones.
I think
Now,
so.
now, anyways, moving on. Uh, Same thing. I mean, for me, honestly, it's not the same thing. For me, I say NWO because people hated him, and I never did like him. So if I'm gonna hate him and the rest of the crowd can boo him with me, hell yeah, that's a good time for me. He's the heel, but and even though he's passed away, I'm not gonna crap out on him just because he's gone. But things did come out. He did say stuff,
Mhm.
and you know, you know, and I understand we all say things, but when you're a hero, an icon to so many people from the '80s who were like 5, 8 years old,
Mhm.
maybe they were in their early 20s, and they're old now, and they're looking up at their hero, and they were happy to see that they had a show on MTV, you know. But the real Hogan came out, and I can't imagine. Now, it's never happened with my hero, John Cena. Yeah, it's never happened with my hero, John Cena. There's not one time there's not one thing that came out about Cena that has said this guy shouldn't be someone to ask advice for, or this isn't someone that you shouldn't like. No, when it comes to Cena, like if your kid says my favorite wrestler is okay, if you ask like a 6-year-old and say what's your favorite wrestler, or ask an 8-year old, let's if you ask an 8-year-old what's your favorite wrestler and he goes MJF, holy crap. But if he says, oh well, it's John Cena, hey, I know Cena might say some stuff, some cuss words and all that. Time, it happens. They all do. But I know Cena's a guy that if my nephew or my kid says that's my favorite wrestler, I have no problem with it. If I hear them saying, "Oh, my favorite's MJF," I know what MJF's saying. We are about to change who your favorite wrestler is because that's not happening anymore. That's no.
Maxwell.
But I didn't like Hogan too much anyway. Not just because of the stuff that came out about him. Um, if anything, I didn't like him. I wasn't. Okay. So I remember like it was yesterday when I lived with my ex girlfriend and her family, and it was just me and her uncle chilling at home every single day. We would watch like all this wrestling stuff from the '80s when he was around,
Mhm.
and he would always be like, "Dude, check this out, check this out." And I'm like, not to be mean, I was like, I went back and watched all my, my wrestling stuff. Hell, not too long ago here in 2026, I found a site where you can go and watch TV channels or TV videos from the any era, and you can go as far back as the '50s, black and white TV. And I went
Mhm.
back and watched old matches from like oh my
Were you
god,
watching Luke?
Nature Boy Buddy Rogers or something like that.
Yeah.
And it was this, and like it was just something. It was awesome to see. But no, um, I didn't like Hogan when he back in the '80s. I was just saying. I went back and watched my wrestling, so I've seen the Hogan and stuff in the '80s, and my ex's uncle just couldn't get past it. He'd be like, "Well, you don't know everything about wrestling, dude." I'm like, "I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying like." I've been watching wrestling all my life. I've only known you for 2 years. I continue to watch more wrestling. Everything you're showing me is not new to me. and he just couldn't like. He's like, well, I was alive when this happened. I'm like, and you might have been alive when it happened. I'm not saying you weren't. I was. Because he was born in like 1985 or 84, and I was born in 93. So, yeah, there's a big gap there. But I'm like, you might have been alive in the 80s and watched that stuff for real. I was like, but I went back and watched my stuff. I go and look up facts. I watch videos. I do my homework. So, I do learn my wrestling history one way or another. But for me, I didn't like Hogan before the stuff came out. I didn't like him after it. The NWO, I didn't like Hogan, and if I could get the crowd on my side booing him for two different reasons, hell, I'll join that. I'll join that bandwagon and boo. So for me, it's NWO.
Right, so
So
that was all of our picks.
that was our last pick. We do about 5 people a time, 5 things a time. And like I said last time, we did a Styles, Cena, Styles, Cena, Moxley, Roman, and Triple H.
Yeah.
Well, this time we just got done doing Paul Heyman, Randy Orton, Dominic Mysterio, Cody Rhodes, and Hulk Hogan. And we had 3 that we agreed upon, and we had 2 differences. Looking at all of this, I think I'll just go through it quickly. I think, in my opinion, Eddie Wade probably would have said Brock Lesnar. And we're not gonna come back and ask him. I'm just going with my personal opinion. But I feel like since I managed him in the ring, I think I know him a little bit. But I think he would have said Lesnar. I think he would have said heel for Orton. I think he would have said Judgment Day after Judgment Day, like we did for Dominic. I think he would have said WWE 2 with Cody Rhodes. And I think he probably would have said Real American for Hogan. But then again, him and his brotherhood ways, I think maybe he would have appreciated the NWO a little bit. For the NWO, so, when you're in a company like WWE or WCW or whatever like that, and AEW, whatever, when you make history like Stone Cold or Hogan or the NWO stuff, that kind of changes things. And Hogan, Nash, and Hall, the original 3. And now, since then, we've had groups like Evolution, which Evolution was more like 4 Horsemen, but we still got groups like that. We've gotten groups like Judgment Day. We've gotten groups like New Day. I mean, it all stems back to them. So I feel like even in TSW, I feel like even in indie wrestling, that growing up watching NWO, maybe you have been inspired as the Brotherhood to, hey, I remember when I was a kid, I saw this one thing. Maybe we should go out there to the ring and handle it this way. Maybe the NWO has inspired groups like the Brotherhood and Eddie Wade. So I feel like Eddie Wade and Austin Michaels even would say NWO. And that was it. Past versus present 2. I had fun with you, Tyreek. This has been awesome. I like these. Can't wait to get Eddie and maybe even Austin in on one.
Yep, for sure. Everybody, stay tuned for the WrestleMania Supercard coming up. Any other?
Oh my God.
Joey.
Huh? Hold on. Yeah, hold on. Yeah. So right here on Wikipedia, it says right now we're looking at Punk and Reigns for the world title, Vaquera and Morgan for the women's world title, Rhodes and Orton for the undisputed WWE title, Cargill and Ripley for the women's title, Oba and Brock in the singles, AJ Lee and Becky Lynch in the singles for the WWE Women's Intercontinental. That's 6 matches, and we have 2 nights. So I imagine each night will have anywhere between 5 to 7 matches.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Now, here on the show, we have agreed that the Andre Giant Memorial Battle Royal, typically held Friday night SmackDown before. It's a fun little, I know I heard you once before. You don't have to say it again. I heard you loud and clear, pal. You said we don't have to do this every time. I get that. But this Andre Giant Battle Royal, it's just one of them things where, god dang, we another point. We get to have fun with it, just like the crate, and 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 I'm not sitting here, okay. It's not like each pay-per-view is being looked at and saying what type of thing can I do like that. No, it just pops up and happens. So, like the crate thing, the crate thing could have been great the way it was without that happening. Without Danhausen, he could have came out any other time. But it really wasn't even. He's looked at now. Everyone loves him, but that debut was not popular online and everything. You can see the crowd booing and everything. So, without the crate thing, it's still a good show. So, but WrestleMania is I think it's gonna be like about 5 to 7 matches on each card. So it could be 5, 6, or 7 matches. And right now we got 6, so we have a night's worth of matches. Now, if I am correct, I think Becky Lynch and AJ is on night 1. I think that's what's from the graphics I've seen. Oba and Brock, I think for sure is on night 1. Knowing Brock, if he's not fighting for the world title main event, he probably is going to wrestle on that first night and then get back on his jet and get out of there. That's how Brock does business. Excuse me. Jay Cargill versus Ripley. I think that's gonna be on night 2. I think it is. Rhodes and Orton, I believe, is night 1 main event.
Yeah.
I think Vaquer and Morgan is maybe night 2. And I know for sure Punk and Roman's gonna be
that's for sure gonna
night
be
2.
night 2.
And then on top of that, we have the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, which, like I said, it's not like this. We've been doing that for years, though. But just another way to earn points. And like we said, if for some reason the tag titles, for example, isn't defended at Mania, but it's defended on the episode of SmackDown, we're obviously gonna vote for it because it's WrestleMania season. Have some fun, get some points, and to be honest, when this comes up, I don't think, oh, how many points can I get with it? It ain't like that at all. I'm thinking of how to make it fun for all of us, maybe help someone, help myself, help Tyreek, help Eddie, help whoever's playing. So, when it comes to those decisions like extra points, it's not like one person's looking out for themselves trying to get a point. No, it's something that everyone can benefit from. I have just as much chance as you guys do. And it's all for fun and games. Until I get my RPD title, then.
Man, I guess time.
And look at Tyreek. And I don't think we said this earlier. I want to say, Eddie Wade has lost his Brotherhood title about a month and a half ago to Max Page in TSW. I think it was at the Lane Theater. Now, he lost it, but kidnapped it, went back, and then Matt Page, about a month later, or few weeks later, got it back. But Page beat him and took the Brotherhood title officially. Then, here recently, you, Tyreek, take the title. Now, Eddie Wade, if you saw in my video, the Perfect Creation, Landon Gray was trying to check out this big knot on his head. He had a knot. If you saw what he was looking at right here, like what was sticking out pointing out of his head, it was an actual knot. And yeah, and you took the RPD title from him. and now he has a knot on his head. He's kind of out of it. And he even sent in to the RPD, uh, earlier a message saying that he would not be able to appear tonight on the show. Now, maybe he just needs the time and space away. You know, he did get knot on the head. He did lose a title. No, he lost 2. But is this Eddie Wade really hurt? Or is he playing possum? And is he just being a wuss? Does he not want to show up to the show now that he's got 2 titles? And we're gonna clip this for him just so he sees it. But yeah,
Could be.
But
you all, and look at you, bro. Look at you in the hotel room. Look at you all living it up over there, Mr. RPD, Mr. Champ.
that's what champs do, man. You won't know that. You won't know what that's like. You will, like everybody else, will lose at WrestleMania again. I don't care that you have a 1-point advantage. You could have a 3-point advantage. I'm gonna find a way to retain and to win.
And just in
But
case anyone's wondering where the RPD title is, RPD tried to send Tyreek the championship. And what does Tyreek decide? He's like, you get that. He said, get that Brotherhood Eddie Wade crap off there. Get that stench off my title. He wanted that title, clean, polished, ran through the wall. He wanted that title, clean of the Brotherhood and Eddie Wade all together. So, while his belt is getting cleaned here tonight, he's, look at him living up in a hotel room right now. And what did you say you're doing tonight?
I am going to a training for my weekly training of pro wrestling, man. Me, Eddie Wade's already a pro wrestler. I'm trying to become a pro wrestler, and we putting in that work.
Well, we here at the show, we're even though I'm not on good graces with Eddie, I am proud of everything he's accomplished with or without me. And I'm proud of you too for, going in this. And it doesn't really matter how far you go now. The point is you've wanted to do it and you're doing it. So
Sure.
not for a cop out, but I'm just saying if you were to stop today, it's like, you know what? To me, honestly, you, me, bro, one-on-one, to me, I don't care if you stop and retire today and never got a match. You get as far as you are now, I don't know if I could do it. And I think you get as far as you are out there and stuff. I'm proud of you as far as that much.
Appreciate that.
And the day you finally become a pro wrestler, I hope you hold that RPD title. I really do. Because, oh, you're lucky. My bag ain't over here. I hope you hold the RPD title because, or Eddie Wade, one of the two. Because when you finally become a professional wrestler and you can go anywhere and wrestle, now Kentucky is the only place you have to have a license. So you'd have to ask Mike about getting like a temporary license because I got mine for like all year.
Yeah.
You could get a year one if you had the money. You'd have to do it probably like I'd say at least a month in advance. So, but I would like to see you and Eddie fight for the RPD title in a TSW ring. But I don't want, and I don't want no Brotherhood. I don't want no TSWs. No offense, but I don't want no Mike Murphys. I don't want no Lennox Kids. No one's. I want it to be a one-on-one clean fight. And just to make sure of that, I have my TSW referee shirt and hat over there ready to go. I would be the referee for that match. That is my dream. That is one of my dreams.
We shall see. I think that'll probably happen one day. So we'll
Eddie's already doing it, but I honestly think that as much of a champion as you are on this show, that just shows how big of a wrestling fan I think you are for being like the most times champ, the current champ, going to win WrestleMania, Supercard as champ. It says it all about you, Mr. Champ. But now it's time to try to make that happen in and dude, I'm gonna say this right here on the pod because I thought of it just the other day. I'm glad I'm here. If you ever do, and I hope you do, I pray to God I hope you do. But if you ever become a wrestler and get in the pros and in the indies and stuff, and let's say you're RPD champion, if there's a way that now you don't wrestle here in Kentucky with me.
Mm-hmm.
If you came down here, it would be a special event. And I would make sure I would bring up to Mike and everyone, dude, this has to be big because this guy's coming from Washington, Seattle, I think, and if he's coming here, we need to at least get some flyers out. We need to get promotions out. You'd have to send some promos, but still. But if you hold the RPD title, wherever you're wrestling at in the Indies one day, I'd like to see you physically defend that title.
That would be dope. I could
That
defend it against
RPD title is not only a podcast title, but if you're a wrestler or you're me and you just want to go to the bar and have a street fight for it, bro, defend that title, not just on the podcast, but in real matches. Dude, that adds so much prestige to it. And let me ask you a question. But I know we'll be getting off here in a moment. I'll ask you because I tried to learn it. I don't really understand it. Do you or anyone that may be computer smart, if you know anyone that's computer smart, but do you or anyone you may know how to make a Wikipedia page or something?
No, I don't.
I've
I don't
tried
think
on some things, but I just don't get it. The
me neither.
columns, the pictures, how to post. I don't know how to do it.
That's a good question. I don't think I know anybody who would even know that either. So
Well,
we'll have to
another
look
dream of
into
mine
it.
is to have an RPG ring general, or just have like I want to make an RPD Wikipedia, and just like how WWE's Wikipedia here, it have the titles, the 1 point advantages, all that, and I mean I think that'd be cool to see us have a Wikipedia and keep up with it and all that. But
And I have stats.
yeah, now I can't really do that because first off, I don't understand it. I've tried to watch tutorials. I don't know what I'm doing. Jesse Henrik from the old days might know how to do it, but I do not, and he's not going to do it. So that's I don't, and it's not like we need it done anyways. But yeah. So I will see you next week on the show, buddy. Because remember, we have 3 weeks till WrestleMania Supercard, and I'm already walking in with a 1 point advantage. I'm feeling pretty confident on this card. I think I know the way it's going. So,
All right. Well,
and there's super picks and wilds and battle
yep.
royals and everything to pick from.
He has been Joey Hudson. I have been your Repost Daily Prophecy champion, uh, Mr. RPD, Ty Ramsey, and we have been the Repost Daily podcast. And as per usual, happy wrestling.